Lisa, I'd like to thank you for joining me. You are my second Book of Mormon performer on my podcast, so I'm excited to have you on.
Amazing. I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you. And so for the first part, can you please explain a little bit about yourself for those who don't know who you are?
Yeah. My name is Ronnie Spoto. I'm a performer I grew up in Lakeland, Florida. And I have been doing performing since I was a little wee child. I went to high school for performing, and around that time, I started to realize that this was something I wanted to do professionally. So I went the college route. I got my BFA graduated this past May from Penn State University, and now I'm here.
That's great. And so what got you into performing? Was there like a spark in a what from watching a show? Was it reading scripts? What was that special moment for you?
I think I think it was an amalgamation of many things. I think the one that comes to mind is making my so I have a twin brother, and I think it was making my twin brother put on full scale productions in my family room with like the cushions from our couch as the set pieces, and then making my whole family watch it. And so my family decided that I needed to be I needed to be out of the house doing those somewhere else. And so they put me in the community theater production, and I played the starring role of Rock Number Four in The Jungle Book. And I just sat there on stage in my rock costume, and I loved every minute of it. And that's how I think the theater bug bit me then. I was around second grade, first grade maybe, and I've been doing it ever since.
That's great. And so what was your first experience with Book of Mormon?
I think, I believe my first experience was in 2017. My grandparents took me to see one of the tours in our local theater in Tampa.
Oh, that's awesome. And so, who are some of your biggest inspirations in the theater industry?
Ooh, I think this is a big one that everyone says, but Cynthia Erivo has been someone that I have watched and been amazed by since the beginning. Since watching her, I stumbled upon a bootleg of The Color Purple, and I just was amazed by her talent. So another person that I really look up to is Rob McClure.
Yes, he's amazing.
He's amazing, isn't he? He's just like I was never super familiar with him until I did something called the Jimmy Awards, and he
Oh, you
came
were part of the Jimmy Awards? Oh,
and
awesome.
he came to do like a talk back for us. And I remember the Zoom meeting finished, and I was with my other fellow nominee, and we just cried. It was like it was truly he was the thing that I loved most about is he gave like tangible information about how to further yourself and your career, and he was so generous and just so articulate in the way that he spoke. So I think those two people would be at the top of my list, but there's many more that I love, but not even just famous, but people that I'm
Oh yeah.
consider friends that I think are inspirations to me.
Yeah, for sure. And Rob's great. I met him at the performance of Mrs. Doubtfire here in Chicago.
Oh
And
my
just
gosh,
wanted
I'm
to
so
say too, yeah,
jealous.
he was so kind after the show, so kind.
And he was fantastic. I saw it shortly before it closed on Broadway, and I thought he was fantastic in that role.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
for
amazing.
sure. Yeah. And so, what stop you looking forward to the most with your journey on Book of Mormon?
Coincidentally, I'm in Sarasota right now, and we're stopping in Sarasota.
Oh,
Yeah, I know. By coincidence, later this year, and I'm very excited because all of my family and all my friends will get to come and see me do the show, see what makes me happy, see what I've been working towards my whole life. I guess that sounds dramatic, but I guess in a sense it is. So I think Sarasota. Also, it's gorgeous. I guess I can turn it around for a second. Like the beach out there is
oh
just
wow, yeah,
so. I'm excited for to even show my castmates the wonderful beach. Yeah.
for sure. And so, this is your first tour, correct?
Mhm.
And so, what are you most excited for going on tour, and what is something that makes you a little nervous for going on tour?
I'm excited to get to see a bunch of new places and share an amazing story with some amazing audiences. And then it'll be also in the same double-edged sword. It'll be traveling a bunch of different places will be um, crazy. I think it'll be a good crazy. I'm very excited about it. And what a cool show and message to be bringing to people.
Yeah, for sure. And so, what was your audition process like for Book of Mormon? Because I understand everyone has different audition processes that can take from like 2 weeks to like 6 months. So, what was
Yeah.
your special one?
Um, I I don't know if I had a special one, but I do have
Special in
like
the
a
sense that like it's your own, I guess.
yeah, that's true. And I have a fun little tidbit of the way things worked out where I saw the initial posting on Actors Access, which is a site that they shows put out breakdowns for. And I had talked to the head of my program at Penn State about it 2 years prior. And I finally went up to him and I said, "Hey, we've talked about it. This is the time. I think I'm ready for this. Can we see what we can do?" And so I had an appointment, and I was told by at the time that I couldn't miss the appointment because I was in a show, which happens all the time. We're all working performers. Things come up, and I was like, "Wow, I really missed my shot. That was it. I guess this isn't going to happen for a while." And I remember the director of that show at the time saying, "Don't worry, you are going to be in that show one day." And I was like, "Oh, sure, yeah, whatever." They always say that. But a few days later, they were like, "Oh, never mind. We were able to figure out another appointment for you." I attribute that to my program head. He was fantastic in helping me with that. And so I did my initial audition, and then I did a callback a few days later. And then shortly after, I got the news that I was going to be joining on July 28th.
That's awesome. And so, what is the best piece of advice you've been given from another performer?
Oh, um, hmm. There's a lot of great pieces of advice that I've been given over the years. I'm trying to think of one that really sticks out that I remind myself. Oh, there was a quote that I saw on Samantha Pauly's TikTok account. I know it's such a like a deep cut, but she posted a bunch of like inspirational quotes that she had found from her friends, and I forget the name of the person that said it, but the quote was, "You are the only one in your career." And I think it gets so easy to, especially in the theatrical industry with social media in the past few years, to compare, oh, well, this person got this job, or this person's doing this, or this person's doing that. And then equating that to, oh, well, that means that I'm not going to be successful, which even saying it out loud sounds silly. But I think it's so easy to like look at everyone else's success and be scared about not finding your own. And remembering at the end of the day, I'm the only one in my career. We're all our own independent entities and businesses. We're all marketing ourselves every day. And so reminding myself that I'm on my own path. And I think to me, that's a little bit exciting. But that's been the biggest, like mantra. I'm not a super big quotes guy, but that was one that really stuck with me. Yeah.
For sure. And so, what advice would you give to your younger self?
Stop trying to be something you're not. I think I had this idea of what the penultimate musical theater performer was. I had to act a certain way, I had to say certain things, I had to carry myself a certain way. And I think that is, for lack of better terms, BS. I think it doesn't it, you are going to succeed more when you present yourselves in rooms exactly who you are. Because at the end of the day, after the initial audition, you're going to spend 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks in a rehearsal studio and then however long doing the show with all these people. And you're going to be exactly who you are, how I am with you right now. Like, and so why would I go into a room, or why would I carry myself in a way that I think I have to be different and pose a certain way if once I get the job, I'm just going to act like myself? And so I think bringing myself and carrying myself into rooms as if I am in real life. I actually have a funny story. I started this really random thing that I will be in the middle of an audition room, and this has happened multiple times now for some actually fairly decently big projects. And I'll randomly go into a Celine Dion voice and I'll say, "Shall we go for it?" And I don't know why I do that, but I've done it multiple times now, just like in the heat of the moment. And while I think it's a little odd, I also think it's very, for those that know me, it's very true to my personality to just go into some random voice in the middle of like anything. So I think that like bringing myself into rooms, doing things that I would do in real life, gives them a better idea of who I am. So I would tell myself quick, because I think I'm slowly, it's a ever evolving process, but I would tell myself, just allow yourself to be who you are and don't worry about what other people are going to think of you because it all works out in the end.
Yeah, for sure, that's great. And so, what is the best part about being an actor in this day and these days? And then, what is one of the difficult parts about being an actor in these days?
I think one of the coolest parts about being a performer is that it's never the same. I think in comparison, and I love TV film, and I hope to do it one day, and I hope to have everyone has a great successful career in TV film. But I love that live theater is different 8 shows a week, and that I can do one thing at one time, and then I can go, oh, I want to make a different choice tonight. I want to keep it fresh and new. And that doesn't mean I'm going to change the integrity of a show because that's different. But I love that things can evolve and morph, and that it's not just a one take and then you're done. So I think that's one of the coolest parts of about being an actor. I also love the different people you get to meet. You meet so many different. Sorry, uh, I get to meet so many amazing, cool, different people from all sorts of walks of life all over. Um, and so I love that about being an actor. I think one of the harder parts about being an actor, specifically that I've noticed, is you're constantly moving around all over the place, and it's really it's hard to find like a home base. My home base for the next year is going to be my home in Florida, but I'm not really going to be home in Florida. But then I might move to New York, and then I might move here, and you just never. You're kind of going all over the place. And while that is scary, I also do think it is very exciting because it keeps, especially while I'm young, it keeps me kind of seeing all corners of the world and keeps me energized, and I'm constantly meeting new people and new things. So yeah, I think that's what I would go with.
Yeah, for sure, that's awesome. And so, what advice would you give to younger performers who want to pursue acting as a career?
Yeah. I My biggest piece of advice would be watch the performers that inspire you. Pour over their work. Pour over. I mean, if you can get your hands on like I idolize, not idolize. I love James Spader as an actor. I think he's just a fantastic actor. So I love watching all of his work and seeing, not only just for enjoyment, because we love to be enjoyed by performing. That's why we all do it in the first place. But also seeing the technique that he employs and seeing what works and what doesn't work. And not necessarily everything that James Spader does is going to work for me, because me and James Spader are two very different performers. But there are things that he does where I go, oh, the inflection, the way he delivers that, I understand how he gets that across. Watching Rob McClure work in Doubtfire was a masterclass. I mean, I've seen some fantastic performances, and I think the more theater you see, the more art you consume in general, and not necessarily, like I said, from an entertainment perspective, but from a critical eye, will really inform the work that you do, especially if you go into it and you go, okay, what can I take from this, positive or negative? Because there's times you'll be like, oh my gosh, this was an amazing choice. I want to really grasp onto that and work that into my performance. Or you might take something and go, okay, maybe that wasn't exactly what I would do, but it helped me realize the choices that I want to make. So my biggest advice would be pour over the work of people that you admire. We live in a digital age where there's so much available to us, so why not take advantage? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, that's awesome. And so that actually wraps up the interview today. I'd like to thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me. It was such a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.